can you please expand on what is an opportunity zone?
So our opportunity zones, those are areas that are designated by the U.S. government for investors to go into. And so the whole theory behind it is that you invest in underprivileged areas, or I should say underdeveloped areas, in order to get those areas to, I guess, up to speed so that they are more developed and we get more investment into those areas.
What is the benefit for me to kind of go outside of my comfort zone and buy in an area like you're talking about?
So as an investor, you get all these tax incentives. So that you have, obviously, well, it's like a 1031 exchange. You get this deferred tax payment, right? Typically with a 1031, you just roll it over and roll it over. And once you get out, you're going to pay taxes, but it's deferred. The difference with an opportunity zone, the longer you keep it in, the lower the amount of taxes you're going to pay in the end. Once you hit year 10, so after a decade, your tax liability goes to zero. You can roll it over to any kind of product you want.
So let's go back and kind of let's talk to our novice investor who's watching and listening to us today. That person who doesn't know what you mean by rolling it in. So from a 1031 exchange, say you have a house. Can you explain, give us an example of how this works?
So 1031 exchange, that is with an investment property. It is not your primary home. It can be your secondary home, right? Secondary home.
Anything that's rented.
Anything that's rented for a certain number of days, and you have to live in it a certain number of days or not over a certain number of days, and you have to have owned it for so long, that's your secondary home. But other investments like a business or some kind of a 3-flat or something like that, those are obviously earmarked as businesses. So once you sell those, the proceeds from that can be held by a third party. And then once you identify another property, another investment that you're going to get into, and we say property because we're all real estate, minded here. You identify that with a certain period, and then you take the funds and the proceeds from the sale of your original property investment and roll that over into that. So that's what we call it rollover.
So exactly. So that makes a lot of sense. So we're talking about, say you sell your 2-flat and you put it in this 1031 exchange account, and you have to identify your next product within 45 days of closing, correct?
Correct.
And then once you sell it, you put the money in there, and then you buy the other one, and then you roll that equity or whatever money you have into that new product. And so you're not really touching money, so you're not really paying any earned income on that money, correct?
Exactly.
Okay. Now, the opportunity zone, you have to buy it. What are the requirements? Once you buy the property, say you buy something for $200,000.
Opportunity zone is a 1031 exchange. It's kind of like on steroids, right?
Yeah.
It has to be like kind. We use real estate because it's pretty easy. When in real estate, we're talking about like kind. Just about everything is real property. So you can buy something that's undeveloped and it's still like kind because it's real property.
We really want to pay less in taxes. And when you go and you have an investment property and then you sell it and there's a big capital gain, the number one thing you need to do is figure out where that money is going to go.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
So I deal with my clients. I have a lot of clients that live around here and some around the country. I have someone coming in from Germany. These guys are pretty well to do, and they're figuring out, okay, I have these investments. Now what do I do? And we're talking about generational wealth that they've been protecting. And it becomes, okay, how do I protect this for my kids and my kids' kids?
Yeah.
What do we do now? We have this, and this product is coming due, and we've kind of capped out on this. We want to get into something else, something a little more with a little more upside. What do we do? What vehicles are out there for us to maximize our return on our investment? This opportunity zone is a beautiful thing for those kind of people.